Hey everyone, it's Fox from modelmaking.guru here, back with another build for emodels.co.uk. This time we're going to be building this puppy. Okay, right, so a bit of a departure for me from sci-fi. If you know me, you'll know there's two things I love, video games and sci-fi. I used to make a lot of military miniature kits when I was a kid, when I was learning the craft. Lots of Tamiya 135th kits. So this is a nice return to that for me. There is a kind of geeky link though. As I say, I like video games and I've been watching with interest the trailers and teasers for Metal Gear Solid 5. So just recently I played through Metal Gear Solid 4 because I'd never played a Metal Gear game before. Absolutely loved it, thought it was brilliant, had a great time. And when it came time to choose another model, rather serendipitously, I happened upon the Stryker. One of the characters in Metal Gear Solid 4, Drebin 893, he's an arms dealer. But he's also a good guy. And he drives around in his own custom Stryker. So I decided, why don't I get a Stryker and make Drebin's vehicle. The closest one I could find is the Fire Support Stryker. This was the Trumpter 1/35th scale kit. They do a few different variations. But this is the one I went for. There's a few bits on here that aren't relevant to Drebin's vehicle, so that I won't be using. But it's as close as I can get. So what I'm going to actually do with this kit is build it as close as I can to the few pictures there are available of Drebin's Stryker. Do his custom paint job. And then I've actually found someone who can make decals for me. White decals. So I'm going to be getting decals made specifically to match his vehicle. So I'm not going to be using, well, pretty much most of the decals in this kit I'm not going to use. I'm also not going to be using the figures or a lot of the sort of luggage and stowage. But let's get this box open anyway. Before we go, I'll just show you some quick... I'll put my teeth in today. Blah, 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 blah. Talking nonsense. Blah, 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 blah. Words. Pies. Right, let me show you some quick pictures of Drebin's vehicle. And these are screenshots from the game. And they're kind of hard to find. There's no real clean shots, so they're a bit higgledy-piggledy. But you'll get the idea of what I'm trying to build. So let me just show you those pictures now. When we come back, we'll unbox. Okay, so now you know what I'm kind of aiming for. Let's get this puppy open. It's only going to be a short video today because this is just to open the box and show you what's inside. We'll actually start the build in the next episode. Let's get this puppy open. Now I start off, obviously, we have the instruction booklet, which is quite clear and crisp. Very similar to Tamiya kits. Nice clear diagrams, part numbers, explains which bits are photo etch, which bits are clear, which bits are optional. There are a couple of bits in here when I read through that were a bit confusing, but we'll cover those off as we go along. But a nice comprehensive instruction book, should take a while to get through. I can't remember the exact part count in there. I think it's 300 and something parts, and they're all tiny, so yes. Decal placement sheet and colour scheme. I'm going to be ignoring the colour scheme because I'm doing mine Drebin's colour. My colour is going to be, I think, a mixture of Tamiya German grey, some blue and white mixed in, and then it'll be that base colour. But the colour sheet's quite nice. It gives you call-outs for most of the main colour types. You get call-outs for Mr. Hobby Aqueous colour, Vallejo, Model Master, Tamiya and Humbrol paints. So it kind of covers off all the main paints you're likely to be using, which is quite nice. And then we get down to the hardware. I won't pull all of this out because you've seen parts on sprues before. Overall, it's a nice... Now these were bagged up, I unbagged them for the ease of this bit. It's a nice, crisp detailed kit. I'm going to see if I can get a close-up shot. I've been having problems with autofocus since this new iOS 8 version came out, so let's just have a look and see if you can see any of this crisp detail. It's very nicely moulded. I hope this is in focus. It's very nicely moulded, lots of very fine details, which will only be added to with all the extra bits I'm sticking on. It's nice, it's not too thick, it's nice thin plastic, so it's got some flex to it for anything that needs to be bodged. I doubt there will be. But overall, it looks and feels like a really nice kit. There are figures with the kit, 3 figures. They're wonderfully detailed. I'd actually say these are more detailed than Tamiya figures. The only main difference between these and Tamiya being that they're all separate legs, torsos and so on. Tamiya tend to do the entire torso with legs, and then the arms are stick-on and the head is stick-on. Or sometimes they have the head moulded into the torso as well. But the detailing on these is really, really quite crisp. I'll put some photographs at the end so you can get some close-up shots, because I can't count on my focus. The detail on those is actually really, really nice. We have standard clear parts. I'm not taking these out of the bag because I want to keep them unscratched. There's clear parts for headlights and other parts, and there's a separate sprue for the driver's viewport lid. Get me with my technical military terms. Viewport hatch. You can have it open or closed, and if it's open it has glass around the edge, but I'm not going to be using that. What else do we have? More plastics. You can see on these sprues, there's lots and lots of really tiny parts. Let me just check the focus. Oops. Lots and lots of really tiny parts. Now, I'm no stranger to tiny parts after building Fine Mould's 1/72 scale Millennium Falcon, which had 900 of them. But it does mean that while I'm building this, a lot of the time, if I film me building it, you're just going to see my head, because I'm going to be close up to it like this to actually see what I'm doing. Because I have old man eyes, as I've explained before. So I may have to end up doing like chunks of building and then filming me talking about it, and then a chunk of building for some of this series. So it's not going to be me building everything from scratch on the film, because that would take forever and you wouldn't see anything apart from my head, which would kind of suck. More tiny fiddly pieces, beautifully moulded. I'm not seeing any flash on these at all that I can pick out. Even on the real small bits of tubing and piping, I'm not seeing a lot of flash at all. I'm hoping, like a Tamiya kit, these just go together perfectly and minimise any filling it needs or anything like that. If it's as good as a Tamiya kit, it should go together like a dream. Then you get a couple of extra bits. Now, I've unbagged these and put them all together, but this is kind of what sets it apart for me from a Tamiya kit. Now, granted, I've not made a Tamiya kit for a while, and the ones I have made are the ones I made when I was a kid. So things like the Kubelwagen or the Opel Blitz, or a couple of tanks, T62, which are probably 20 or 30 years old now. I've not made any of the more recent kits, so I could be wrong in this. But my understanding is, if I remember rightly, I mean, the Tamiya kits I made didn't really have things like photo etch. It was just the kit. There you go, bang. But with this Trumpter kit, they've kind of gone whole hog. I think, from what I've understood, they do a series of these, and this particular kit, it's kit number 00398. It's the M1131 Stryker fire support vehicle, available on emodels.co.uk. Kit 00398. You've got kind of extra bits that I think they sold separately at one point. You have your decals, which are quite nice. I'll show you those. Ooh. Now, as I say, I'm not going to be using most of these, if any of them, any of the specific signage, because I'm going to have my own made over the next few weeks. But you get your decals. It's not a heavily marked vehicle, so it won't have a lot of decals anyway. You also get some papercraft. You get all kinds of things in this kit. Some papercraft, or pepakura as the Japanese call it. It's Pepsi and Coke boxes, and what I think are various, say, bottled water manufacturers in the Middle East, those kind of countries. They're just to add character to your vehicle. If you're doing it in, say, a Middle East setting like Afghanistan or Iraq or somewhere like that, you may want to have, say, crates of bottled water on the vehicle under the stowage straps, or just in your diorama. So it's nice to include those. You just cut these out, fold them and glue them with paper glue, and you have little crates of drinks, which is quite cool. Photo etch parts, get to in a second. More paper craft, MREs, military ration boxes. Wonderfully printed. Again, you just cut them out, cut the little gaps and fold them into shape, so you get lots of boxes for your stowage, just to add extra detail. More MREs. You also get some masks for the clear parts around the driver's hatch if you use them. I've never tried these. I've never tried the Trumpter kit before, so I don't know if how good these are. I'm sure they're absolutely fine, and I'm guessing they're self-adhesive. I probably won't be using them though, although I've not decided yet what I'm going to do with the little viewing ports around the hatch when it's closed. I'm not sure I'm going to do those yet, so may have to use those. And one little nice touch, you get a sheet here which you probably can't see, but it's a whole mess of stowage straps, representing sort of canvas stowage straps where you can strap them around something so it's on the side of the vehicle or the top, like so you can make netting if you have a load of sort of boxes and knapsacks and things on top of the vehicle. They have that kind of webbing that goes over the top, crisscross webbing. That's what it's for. And last but not least, you've got some photo etch, which I'll show you. These are wonderful. A little thicker than the photo etch I'm used to, but really nice. And the photo etch is perfect because it's designed for things with very fine patterns like meshes like these. Here you can see, hope it's in focus. And parts that you'll need to fold these into shape for things like stowage boxes and little racks. There's also some alternative parts to other parts in the kit. So, for example, this piece here, I think, is the blast plate that goes in front of the 50 cal gun. There is an equivalent plastic piece on the kit, but you've got the option. This will be thinner than the moulded plastic piece and look a bit more in scale and realistic. And little pieces for the grenade launchers. So we should be doing some photo etch as well. That's about it. That'll cover this episode. Just really showing you what's in the box. I'm looking forward to this build. I'm actually really looking forward to this build. It's going to be a few weeks before I get the decals. So if by that point I finish the build and the painting, we'll have to pause for a bit while I wait for the decals to turn up. There's a bit of a lead time on those. I may also, now I don't know this for sure, don't know yet, but I may also do a diorama for this one. So if I do, I'll include that as part of the build. I'll include how I make the diorama. I'm not 100% sure. I'm thinking I might do, but I'm not sure what yet. So probably a simple one, nothing too complex. So that will do it for this time. So only a quick interview. What am I doing? Applying for a job? Quick overview. I'm saying a lot today. It's one of those days when I'm kind of not fully awake yet, and it's really warm, and I'm not really thinking straight. So if I've been a lot, I apologise. So, emodels.co.uk, go along. Very kindly provided this kit to me, so I can build it for them. Fantastic store, everything you need. Models, paints, equipment, you name it. If they don't have it, you don't need it. Go along and check it out. Brand new website, looks fantastic. Go along as well to their Facebook page, facebook.com/eModelsLTD. Wonderful little community. Join in the conversations, post your pictures up. They'll post up about products coming out, stuff they're getting into stock. They post up videos from me and Ted and Paul and other build videos. Just join in. It gets quite fun on there. Me and Ted, well, not Ted, I'm not saying Ted's an idiot, but I'm an idiot, so I can be quite silly on there sometimes. So come along, join in. You're not an idiot, Ted, love you. Join in and hang out. And don't forget, of course, I've got my own website, modelmaking.guru, that's modelmaking.guru. I put a little blog up there of my builds, some stuff for sale, and I'll put these videos up on there as well. But yeah, check it all out. We'll come back in the next video with the start of the build. But until then, what? Hang on a minute. Hey Snake, is that your new model? It looks amazing. It's got plastic, it's got brass, it's got paper. More complex than the models I remember from my youth.
Plastic models have changed.
I guess you're right. It's amazing what they do nowadays.
Were you calling for a reason, Otacon? I'm kind of busy filming here.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Snake. I was calling to let you know that I've left some equipment in the field to help your build. With your old man eyes, it's hard to see small things, so I've left you the solid headset. It'll magnify tiny objects for you so you can see them better. But watch out, if it gets in the way of the camera, no one will be able to see what you're doing.
Old man eyes. Otacon, you're an idiot.
Sorry about that. Until next time, adios amoebas.